Yo, what it do, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about the Coda Liches, how to go and get them, what they are, what they're going to give you, and all of the mechanics and everything you need to know in between. There'll be timestamps on the video. I'm not going to spend too much time doing an introduction and yapping. I'm just going to get straight into it so that you guys understand where to go and keep the flow of the video. So number one, the Coda Liches are tied within the Warframe 1999 update. Basically, you do need to go and get here first, do your quest, do all the good stuff and whatnot, and get yourself towards like the back rooms. When you've kind of got all of this stuff done, you should, I believe, be able to go and do it. I don't think it's tied to the Hex Syndicate ranking, but if it is, somebody already correct me at this point. I can't find any information on it, and I'm max rank, so I don't know. Anyways, so once you've gone ahead and done that, what you want to go ahead and do is you're going to log on towards the PC. Now, for what you want to go ahead and start off with, you see these tech rot nodes. It's going to be this one here, and most important, it's going to be this one here. You can also go ahead and do this one over here, but for now, my advice is just keep it simple. Go ahead and queue up an exterminate mission. So I know you can see like these little swells around them right now. Ignore that, that will come into play later. So if yours just looks normal like this, where it doesn't have swells around it, that's good. So go ahead and click on the mission. Go in towards the exterminate mission, and when you are inside, all you need to go and do is just kill a couple of enemies. As you keep killing, you'll notice one of them will go and drop some kind of like little yellow icon on the ground. I want you to go and walk up towards that icon, pick it up. It should be like an infected track of some sort. And then you're going to go ahead and it's going to give you a new waypoint, and you're going to go and put it in towards a console. When you go towards this console, all you need to go and do is hack it. But the good thing is that you can hack it in one of three different ways. You can successfully hack it normally, you can fail hack it, it doesn't matter, or you can go ahead and use a cipher. Any of those three will be completely fine for you to continue. Now that you've done that, what's going to happen is that Arthur is going to pop up. You know you've done this right. Arthur's going to pop up and he's going to say, yada, 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 subscribe to the channel. As he's saying that about the Liches, you guys are now going to go ahead and get your like little Lich HUDs. So at this point, you can either go ahead and continue the mission and just finish it and do whatever else you want to, or if you want to go to be a little bit quicker because you're just looking to farm Lich after Lich after Lich after Lich, then my advice is once Arthur said his like little message, and during his little message, you can literally just leave the mission. That's what I do. So now that you've left the mission, you're going to end up basically being in the back rooms, and the Lich is going to go ahead and mock you and so forth and so forth. Now, if you've done things like the Tenet Sisters, or if you've done things like the Coda Liches, you'll be familiar with the little icon down here whenever you go and open up your little menu. So if we go and click on it now, we can go and see that this is one that I just got here for the video example. So what you need to go and know, well, first of all, the Lich at the front is going to be the Lich of the 5 that you're like mostly dealing with. So you will always see this Lich, but this Lich can always be joined in fight with another one. We'll get to that in a moment. The name of your Lich is always going to be at the beginning. Then there's just some funny names afterwards. From here onwards, malware disinfection is the most important part. Basically, you're going to want to get this to 100%. We'll explain how it's going to do that in a bit. Weaknesses are over here. You don't really need to worry about those so much, but resistances, you do want to go ahead and pay a little bit of attention to as well. Now, for what it's worth, they are genuinely quite weak, so I don't really tend to pay attention to like a specific build. I'm killing them with like a Nami solo melee influence, which I'm not going to lie to you, is not designed for something that I would consider like this. That's designed for like ad clear. So again, they're quite squishy. Now, when you do go ahead, whether you finish, so let's say you go ahead and kill the Lich at the very, very final stages, you can actually see what rewards you would get here. So you can make up your mind before you've even finished this Lich. You can see what's the difference between if I kill it, or I capture it. So you can see the difference here. Most importantly though, if you want the overall TLDR here, whenever you go ahead and finally fight the Lich in its final stage, in the final battle, I want you just to go ahead and kill him, because you're after this thing here. This thing here called Live Heart Cell is what you're going to be using to go ahead and pick up the brand new Coda Lich weapons. So you basically want a lot of these. Ideally, you'll need at least 130 minimum to go and get all 13 weapons, because they all cost 10 each. But don't worry, we'll get to that a little bit later inside the video. Now, the more important thing that you want to go and pay attention to is over here. It's called antivirus attempts. You will see that there is 8 different antiviruses on screen. The goal of the Lich system is to find out which one of these is considered its antivirus, which is way, way, way faster than any of the Coda Liches or Tenet Sisters. It's just one of 8. So what we can go and do here is we're going to end up equipping some Antivirus Mods. Now, if you do not have Antivirus Mods, because obviously you're beginning this right now, this is a guide, you can go ahead and, I'll put this up on the screen here, you can go and get Antivirus Mods from doing the bounty that you see inside the garage, inside 1999, and there is a bounty here, and you just basically keep repeating that bounty, and you'll go ahead and get some rewards. So again, if you can, try and get one of all 8 of them. That's all you're going to basically be doing. Try and get at least one of all 8 of them. If it's taking you too long, you can just go ahead and trade another player or someone else in your clan or something else like that. You can probably go and find someone else who just wants to go ahead and swap with you, because maybe you've got more of one and they've got less of the other. You get the idea. Anyways, so now what we're going to go and do is basically just pop these on. It doesn't matter which order I pop these on. I'm just basically putting them on here. Again, the first goal is to figure out what it is week 2 first. This is the first goal. Obviously, we do have these things down here called Potency Mods, but we will go ahead and get into that in a second. Just for now, put on 3 of these. This basically means you have a 3 out of 8 chance to at least be correct. So if you don't get it, so when the Lich does go ahead and spawn for the very first time inside your mission, if you stab it and none of these were correct, it's okay. You've already eliminated 3 of them. So if we just do the quick math here, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. So the idea is within 3 runs, you'll do a 3, 3, 2. You're guaranteed to find out what it's weak to within 3 runs minimum, as long as you don't forget to go ahead and equip and change them and so forth. I have been guilty of sometimes just slipping and forgetting. So don't worry about that. Okay, so now that we've slotted those in, you are now officially just ready to go ahead and understand what's going on more here with the console. So the console, like I said, you didn't have to worry about this. Now you are going to worry about it. So first of all, if you want to know what the malware found is, when you just click it, it just takes you to the Lich screen. That's all it is. Just a quicker way to go and get there, so you don't have to worry about that. But these little nodes here are the infested nodes. So the idea is we're going to disinfect them, right? And if you look down inside the bottom right, it says Duet chance, probability of encountering a pair of Technocyte Codas at this location. This is always going to work as follows. So it's a bit of information here. Please bear with me. If you go ahead and queue up this mission, an exterminate mission, and you go and complete the mission, if no Lich, the 25% chance for them to spawn, if they didn't spawn, don't worry about it, you will still get 5% disinfection. That's just how it goes. Every time you clear one of these infected nodes, you will always get 5%. Okay, that's how it goes. Remember that, because it's key. So every time they do not show, that 25% gets greater. So if I complete this mission, they didn't show, fair enough, I come back out, I'm going to queue up this mission. Instead of it saying Duet chance 25, it's going to be 50. Might see where this is going. So what's going to happen every time they don't show, it's going to be 25. So it starts off 25%, 50%, 75%, and then a guaranteed 100%. So within 4 runs minimum, you're going to see these Liches regardless. Again, a very, very quick way of doing this. And the best part is you don't have to annoy them like the sisters or like the Coda Liches. There's just a probability of them occurring. So if you can get 25%, you're off to a good start. Now, the disinfection thing for completing a mission is what we go ahead and call a pity. It just basically means that, hey, the Lich didn't show up. So because it didn't show up and you completed the mission, you can't redo this mission at that point. You've cleared it out. You've gotten rid of the infection. You get 5% for clearing it out. Well done. Pat on the back. But that's kind of the pity. The idea is we want the Lich to spawn, right? And we want to go and figure it out. So let's go ahead and say that your Lich has spawned, okay? They will always turn up as a Duet. So as you can go see here on the screen, I'm fighting 2 of them. And again, they're pretty easy to go and kill, so don't sweat it. You should be fine. Now that I go ahead and kill both of them, so they might go and split apart a little bit. If you're in a big team, they might go ahead and really move away. But once you've killed both of them, you can stab either one of them. And as you stab, it will check for the antivirus if you've got the correct one on you. Let's say now at this point, you have hypothetically got it correct. So you guessed out of the antivirus mods and boom, you've got it correct. Excellent, sweet. Now you've done that, what's going to happen here is you can now go towards your Parazon and learn what the potency mods are, okay? So you've now figured it out. Let's say it's 44 drive duster, right? What will happen is this 44 here will actually just fill up this entire section, right? So it will just say 44 like really big over here. Very easy to go and understand, all right? Now, I always want to make sure I have the right one with me at all times from here forwards, okay? So this is going to stay with me. Now, what you can go and do is the potency mods. So there's going to be, I think it's 5, yeah, there's 5 potency mods that you can go and see here. It's going to be called Eleanor, whatever, shields. It's 15% disinfection. Don't worry about what else it gives me right now. Well, 5,000 affinity, I don't really care for that. Then the next one is also 15% disinfection, and it's 10,000 hollows, in this case credits. This one down here is going to be 10%, so it's actually less, 5% less, but there is a 10% chance that when I do go ahead and stab it, it will drop a live heart cell. Remember, live heart cells are what we go ahead and use to collect up to go and buy the Coda weapons. So that's not too bad, but a 10% chance is quite low. Keep that in mind. Over here, we got threat blocker. Again, 10% disinfection, but a 25% chance to go and get an extra potency mods. And then finally, we've got turbo project, which is a 10% disinfection, but a 25% chance to go and get an antivirus mods. My advice, okay, this is just my advice, I would go ahead and slap on this one and this one. So once you've got the correct one that you know is correct, because it tells you here, I would then put on the 15% and the 15%. This should total to a total of 35 when stabbed correctly. You might be thinking, oh, that math isn't mathing right there. Whenever you go ahead and stab the Lich correctly, and it is the correct one, it will always give you 5%. But when you now complete the rest of the mission, it won't give you 5%. It's a bit weird. When it comes towards the Lich, I'll put this on text on the screen. When it comes towards the Lich, please keep this rule of thumb. Completing if they don't show up and you complete the nodes, you will get 5%. Or if they do show up and you stab them correctly, you will get 5%. Okay, even if they show up and you stab them wrong and then you complete the nodes, it will still just be 5%. That 5% is always ore, but these ones are not ore. These ones are stackable. So this is 30% on top of the 5%. Does that make sense? It's basically, long story short, the maximum you can go and get in disinfection is going to be 35%. Okay. So now that we've done that, I also want to go and just show you a couple of tips here really quickly. You see these missions here, every time you stab wrong and you complete a mission, not only do you get the 5% for completing it, but this won't come back. So you see this like little thing here, it won't be back. Whereas every time you stab the Lich correctly, it will always reset these 5 missions. So I can do this, like if I got really lucky with the 25% back to back to back to back to back, I could do this literally infinitely so long as the 25% were proccing and I had the right thing. That's such a random probability, but it could happen. Very slim chance. But you get the idea. So if you stab correctly with the correct things, these reset. If you stab wrong, and you complete the mission, you will just move on to the next mission. Can I give you my advice? I would always do it relatively in this way. I would do exterminates, then capture, then survivals. Why? Because exterminate missions you can do pretty easy and pretty quickly. There is a side objective inside the exterminate mission that says go ahead and do the cache. Ignore it. You don't need to. That's only for the arcanes. If you don't care about the arcanes, they're not new arcanes, they're the 1999 arcanes. So if you don't care about those arcanes, just keep killing. All right, it's pretty simple to go ahead and do. Capture. The reason why I put it after the exterminates is because sometimes the capture target can be a little bit annoying. It really depends on what the capture target got as its ability. Sometimes you'll get like Saren's Molt, or you'll get like invisibility, and not everyone's super strong. So the capture one can be a little bit annoying for some people, which is why I recommend it second. But you should still be able to go and do both of these and that quicker than you would spend 5 minutes in a survival. Okay, these should only be like 3 minutes, depending on how quick you can go, like 2 minutes 30 to about 3 minutes or 4 minutes. This one's about 3 minutes 30 to about 4 minutes. These are going to be 5 minutes. Again, we're just trying to save some time right now. Okay. Now, another tip here is there are currently some methods to stab in right and wrong, and then you just leave the mission. Basically, if you've just started the mission and you're only like, I don't know, like a minute in the mission, and you know you're not even like a third of the way through the kills, and the Lich appears, let's say you stab it and you get it wrong, or you stab it and you get it right, it saves the progress there regardless. There is some technique here where you can now just leave the mission and come back in, because technically you're not almost done completing it. But do keep in mind, like let's say you stabbed and you got it wrong, but then you don't want to complete the mission, then you won't get the 5%, but at least you keep the mission. Sometimes this can work in your favor, sometimes this doesn't, because of how the disinfection meter works. So let me go ahead and explain that really quickly. when it comes towards the disinfection meeting, I need you guys to understand one thing, just one thing. This will always cap at 95% if and only if you didn't stab the Lich to the hundreds. What I mean by that is, let's say that I stab my Lich to 90%. So I've got all of my, I've been doing the disinfections, I've got all my potencies, and I bring it all the way up to 90%, yeah? I go complete a mission, it'll go to 95%, but they didn't spawn. I go complete another mission, it's still 95, and then it's still 95%. It can't go into 100. You have to stab the Lich to get from the 95 to the hundreds, okay? But if it was 80% and I go do the mission and they spawned and I had enough disinfection on my potencies, then I could literally, as long as I stabbed it correctly, then that can go straight to 100. Does that make sense? Basically, there's like a soft gate where it's like, look, you have to stab it in order to make it go to the next stage. Hopefully that does make sense. I don't think I can explain that anymore. Now, when that does happen and you have got into that stage, what's now going to happen is your Lich is going to go ahead and no longer be here, and you'll know that you've done this correctly because none of these will be lit up, which is great. And then this will say 100%. Now, what you're going to go and do is open up your navigation. You're going to go over here towards Railjack. And then on Earth, right here, in between these two, is going to be the Railjack mission that you need to go ahead and complete in order to go ahead and fight and get your Lich and the rewards and so forth. Now, the Railjack mission is going to go as follows when you get inside. You're going to steer up to the objective. The objective are going to be these like little pillars in front of you. So you're going to steer up towards it. It's then going to kick you off your steering. Okay, so don't worry, it's supposed to do that. Your ship is going to get onboarded with enemies. You're just going to go and kill all the enemies. And then there's kind of like some, I don't know, like in hive sacks kind of like around on the ship. I think this scales depending on how many people you have on your ship. So if you join like lots of friends and you're all hunting Liches, I think there's a bit more here. But if you're playing solo, I believe there's only 2 of these sacks. And then there's like 23 enemies, 25 enemies. Anyways, clear all of that. Now go back to the steering wheel and then go ahead and shoot with your guns or with your abilities, whatever it may be. Go ahead and shoot that like pillar pylon thing that you drove up to. Once you've broke that, you're going to do the exact same thing again to the next pillar pylon just around the corner. So basically you're doing this twice. That when you drive up to it, it's going to kick you off. You're going to kill the enemies. You're going to go and kill the hive sacks, and then you're going to go back again and so forth. Now, once you've done this twice, you're then going to go and see that there's these vines, infested vines in the background. After a little bit of time, those vines are slowly going to reveal themselves. Like they're going to go ahead and open up, and just inside it, the revealed is going to be a stadium. So we're going to go and see the stadium of the infested boy band online, right? All you need to go and do is enter that stadium. I believe you can go ahead and use the slingshot if you want to from the Railjack, or you can go ahead and just get out of the Railjack and fly up. It doesn't matter. Anyways, you're now inside the stadium, okay? Now that you're inside the stadium, what's going to happen here is when you enter inside, you approach a screen. Now, this screen here is, I believe, again, scales with how many players are also fighting other Liches on the inside. And the way that that's going to work, if you are with more players, they're going to end up having to fight Liches one by one by one by one. Try to remember that, because if I forget it in a second, I'm sorry. It's better to fight Liches solo, I'll put it that way. Anyways, shoot the screen. As you can see, you'll break the screen and then just head inside. You'll get met with a cutscene and you'll see the Liches go ahead and come down. Now, when the Liches are just standing on the stage menacingly, you'll see that they're currently got iframes. They're actually invulnerable. What's going to happen here is you now need to dodge all of these attacks coming towards you, okay? Now, if you see in the top left hand side, you basically have like a debuff meter is what's going to go on here. If you get hit 3 times from the radio blast or the fire waves or whatever else it may be, the lasers and whatnot that happen a bit later, if you get hit 3 times, you basically receive a damage debuff towards you, which obviously is going to make things a little bit harder for your survivability. At this point, I can recommend Warframes like Revenant, who's going to handle this with absolute ease. So that would be my advice. From here onwards, I'm just showing the mechanics, so I don't do very well, so forgive me, because Revenant put me in a bad habit. And then now that you've done that, they're going to get off stage and you're going to basically go ahead and fight them. The fight's going to be pretty simple. You just go and keep hitting as many of them as you can. It's just switch your brain off, just keep hitting. Then sometimes they'll go ahead and go down, but then they'll, like, I don't know, send like a link towards each other, and then they'll rise back up, and then you fight them again, and then they go down again, right? So you kind of do this like twice. Then they go back on stage, and then you rinse and repeat the same thing that you just did again. So remember, it's always like incremented too. So again, you're gonna go and dodge it. Now this time though, there's gonna be like lasers coming across the screen and whatnot. So more like mechanics. To be honest, I like the mechanics. Reminds me of like the Jackal fight, which was always kind of cool. So we're like jumping, dodging, parkour, all of this different stuff. So once you've done that, now you're gonna go and fight the Liches for the final time. Just go ahead and kill them. Once they are killed, you now can walk up to your main Lich that you had at the beginning, the one that was inside your HUD, and you're gonna go and interact with them. You will be presented with two options. You've got on the left-hand side, which is Convert, and you've got on the right-hand side, which is Vanquish. What did I tell you guys earlier in the video? Please go ahead and Vanquish. You want the live heart cells. That's what we're here for now. So please go ahead and Vanquish them at all times. You'll go ahead and stab them in the face. Lovely stuff, right? At this point, you're technically done, but let me tell you two things just really quickly. If you are with a group and you've got like a second player view or a third player view, there will be like an encore that you can go ahead and click on somewhere on the screen. There'll be like a little thing that you go and click on. It will now summon the fight again, and you've got to do all of this again for the other player. As you could imagine, that's quite tedious. You'd be better off just like letting your friend go off and solo it, and you go off and solo it. But if you want to go and do that, there's no harm. You do what you want to. That's the encore. Otherwise, what you can go ahead and do here is you can go ahead and take the esophague at the back of the arena, or you can just go ahead and open up your scroll wheel and go and click on your Omni tool, and this will teleport you back. For group purpose, you can also go ahead and use the group squad reform thing. It'll take you guys all the way back towards Railjack. A friendly reminder that when you do go ahead and fight the Liches here, it doesn't matter whatsoever what mods you have on you at this point. The mods only matter, the main mod only matters when you're sending your Lich to the Railjack. I should have had this in text earlier. If I didn't, forgive me, but that's when it consumes a charge, is when you send the Lich to the Railjack. That's the only time it consumes a charge of that mod. All your potency mods consume charges all of the time. Oh my god, I'll edit that in the video earlier, my goodness. Anyways, so hopefully I'm going to bring you guys back here and whatnot. What's going to happen now is that when you are back here, so you'll leave the dojo, you'll go back to the dojo, you'll come back towards here, and then you'll go ahead and get a message, right? If I click on communication inbox, you'll go ahead and get a message that will pop out. It'll say something like this: drill bit, so forth, yada yada yada. You got 12 live heart cells, you got an ephemeral of yours, and maybe you got a floof. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? So again, the main thing though, I'm after the live heart cells, but this is also pretty cool because it's cosmetical. Now that I've got that, what I can go ahead and do, and I'll show you over here really quickly, is I'm going to go ahead and go towards Eleanor, okay? Now, as I go over towards Eleanor, I'm going to do this faster. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to click Proto Frames. I'm going to click Eleanor Nightingale, and down here is going to be Coda Weapons, all right? If I click on her, first of all, we can see that the store rotates every 4 days. The store will rotate every 4 days, and it works in increments of 2, so it's going to be Batch A and Batch B. For this video, if you just look and try to remember these weapons, Bass Assist, Cost Assist, so forth, we believe that this is just straight up Batch B. If this is subject to change, I don't know, but this is exactly what I was told with the whole Batch A, Batch B thing as well. So we've got 6 weapons on Batch B. In 21 hours, it's going to rotate, and there'll be 7 weapons on Batch A. It's always just going to kind of leapfrog over each other every 4 days, all right? Once you've got the live heart cells, you can see your currency up here. You can click on the weapon, you can read more about it, and then you can go down here and click purchase, and now you've got your Coda Lich weapon, just like that. All right, I believe I've covered everything. I might have missed 1 or 2 things, but it is quite a mouthful. So, and I've done most of this pretty much just in straight up one take right now. So that should mostly be about it. I will also add in here, I'm going to make a video following this one where I'm going to go over all 13 of the Coda Lich weapons with full steel path builds. So if you want to go and see what they do and how strong they are and what kind of things you can get out of them, please go check that video in a bit when I go ahead and get around to it. But that's going to be it from me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I did a good job of explaining it and keeping the flow and the pacing going. If you do have any questions, please go and leave your comment below. Hopefully myself or someone else will go and get back to you and try and help you understand the system. Besides from that, like the video if you did go ahead and like it, share the video with your friend if you think it will go and help them, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys again in the next video. Thank you guys. Take care, everyone.